Welcome to River City Plus. It's the show after the show after the show, and we do it up big here today. And today we are talking about the Freedom's Eve Emancipation Watch Night service that is going down at the historic Mount Zion AME Church. And today I have joining me Dr. Marlena Smalls, Sandra Maureen, and Pastor Dr. Vincent Cole. And thank you guys for hanging out with us.
Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you. Yeah. Victor Cole.
Victor. Live streaming. We'll fix it. All right. So thank you guys for hanging out with us, first of all. Now, this whole event is more than just a New Year's Eve celebration. This is tied to the Gulla Geeche community and a lot of aspects. Am I correct?
Yes.
So explain. So a lot of people, they might have heard about the Gulla Geeche community and they're like, what? And we've got a lot of transplants here who don't understand about the history and how integral it has been here in Jacksonville. So can you give us a little background, please?
Yeah, the Gulla Geeche community in Jacksonville is the largest Gulla Geeche community in the entire National Heritage Area. And that National Heritage Area spans from North Carolina, the Cape Fear River, to St. Augustine, Florida, St. Johns River. It's about 12,315 square miles of territory, 30 miles inland from the Atlantic Ocean, with all the 80 barrier islands where plantations may have been. And some islands are still holding many of its African traits. So the Gulla Geeche communities on those islands still speak Gulla or Geeche.
So for those that don't know what's Gulla, what's Geeche?
Well, actually, Gulla and Geeche are both two made-up terms, but they are both considered the new designations for a group of individuals who were enslaved and then emancipated to form the Gulla Geeche Cultural Heritage Corridor National Heritage Area. Gulla/Geeche is the official name for the people who still hold many of those traits.
Is it here in Jacksonville? Is it based kind of around Fort Caroline area? I know it stretches beyond, but is that where a big hub of the community is?
Actually, we're all over. We've identified at least 30 communities that are still on some of the same plantations in the same areas of those plantations, and many families have been there for 3 and 4 generations since the end of emancipation. So the Fort Caroline area and the community of Cosmo is one of those areas, but the East Side area is another. The Brooklyn area is another. So we've got so many.
Brooklyn areas? I did not know that. Okay, consider me intrigued.
So, the Brooklyn area is where the United States colored troops actually went to fight the Battle of Olustee. So that area has a significance with Gulla Geeche.
Look at that. We learning here today. I did not know that. Like I said, I knew Fort Caroline a little bit, but Brooklyn, how important is it that people understand about the community and the history? Because, like I said, I had no idea about Brooklyn. I'm just going to use Fort Mose as an example. People don't really understand that history as well. There's so much here in Jacksonville when it comes to the African American community. Not necessarily glossed over, but not necessarily promoted to the forefront where people can really embrace it. And so, having said all of that, that was a long-winded intro. How important is it that people understand the contributions of the Gulla Geeche community and African American culture here in Jacksonville?
Let me answer that. Okay, we in America we tend to minimize the African. So let me go back to the question that you proposed to Sandra. Gulla is a culture first. Gola, Gola. And so when you think about Gulla, you got to think about the West African, because most of the enslaved Africans, not all, but most came from the coast of West Africa. They were rice planters, which made the southern planter very, very wealthy, along with cotton. But cotton was a seed from the north of Africa, not the West. So you have Sierra Leone and Ghana, Gambia, Cameroon, Senegal, and so forth. So the importance of Gullah for me is not just the coast of North America, the United States, North Carolina down to Florida. It is a West African culture. Culture does not stand still. It moves. If it stands still, it dies. So therefore, everything that we do, the music, if America did not have the Africans beat, we would not have American music. Foods, cultivating rice, for instance, it became a big deal. But without the West African, the American would not have had the rice crop because he was the scientist, he was the agriculturalist who cut the ground where rice would have never been raised. So I think of it as a culture. So let me do this. A lot of us hold this region, North Carolina to Florida, as the concentration. But when the African got off the boat, Charleston, South Carolina, more Africans went into Charleston. That's not where they all stayed, but Charleston, South Carolina was a big port for slavery. So when they left Charleston, if they went to Mississippi, if they went to Seattle, Washington, did they stop being African? No. If they went to Cuba, if they went to the Bahamas, wherever, South America, we have remnants of this West African all over the Northern Hemisphere. We have remnants of his movements, of his foods, of his way to celebrate life. We have all of that. So it is a big thing. Why am I involved in it? Because it's time for America and the rest of the world to recognize the importance of the West African and what he has done and what he has given to the world. So for me, it helps me to know who I am and why I do whatever it is that I do. And I think that African Americans, we owe that. For those of us that know, we owe that to tell them, this is why you do this. This is why you eat this. This is why we praise this way, because of over there.
I think that's a mic drop, and we would end this right here. But we're not gonna. Wow. Okay. I'm processing all of that. So with our event coming up on December 31st, that's a celebration on a lot of levels. So tell me what that is going to entail. This is going to be at your church.
Yes, it will take place at Historic Mount Zion. AME Church was at 201 East Beaver Street in downtown Jacksonville, Florida. We're looking forward to hosting this event for the Gullah Geeche community. Many of our members are from South Carolina, North Carolina, and are very aware of the Gullah Geeche community, so they're excited about this. And it's a part of the history of our church, being first. Oldest black church in Jacksonville since 1866. Some of the other things we could tell you about Historic Mount Zion is that Edward Waters University College then was started about the same time, 1866. In fact, some of the first classes was held in the basement at Historic Mount Zion. So we have a lot of first chartered Boy Scout in, I think, 1930. So wonderful, wonderful congregation, lots of rich history that we're eager to tell. We can't do it all in one setting. But we're excited about it, and the community is excited about it. Yes, sir.
So this is actually kind of a teaser because they've got some events coming up in the near future that are really going to give you the opportunity to immerse yourself in the Gullah Geeche community culture. Now, this event, what's going on? We're reading the Emancipation Proclamation. Mm-hmm. Tell me about that aspect of things.
Yeah, so we're reading the Emancipation Proclamation. We're also reading the preamble, and that will be done by a student, basically, because we want our youth to carry on the traditions after we're all gone. We want to make sure that our youth are part of this, so we have several things for youth that are going to take place on that day. They will be in as ushers. Two of our historians will be doing the Emancipation Proclamation. We'll have great music. Marlena Smalls and the Hallelujah Singers will be there. We will also, with the Watch Night service, give a traditional into that service, where we'll have a watchman and a caller. And Pastor, would you like to expound on that?
Well, what I want you to expound on as you was talking, would you explain more about the music and the culture and the moving from one era to the next? I thought that was wonderful.
And there's a real quick, she just glossed over that. It's like Marlena Smalls and her group. It's like, oh yeah, they perform, y'all. I've seen them.
Yeah.
You do not want to miss this performance if you get a chance to come catch them. So, okay, I'm sorry.
Yes, yes. So Dr. Smalls and the Hallelujah Singers put on I know she's sitting over there not saying anything, but they put on an electrifying performance. It's a must-see. We also will have the history of music that will be done by a musicologist. Is that correct? Yeah, Dr. Rice. We will have also 2 other historians that will be doing the then and now. So that it has a great educational component to it, as well as a spiritual component. So we will all be real excited about the end result of this.
Now, can I put this out there? Because a lot of people are going to be like, oh, this isn't for me. This isn't anything that I need to be a part of. But this is an invite to all cultures to come out and celebrate the Gullah Geeche culture, but just an opportunity for people to come together. It's not necessarily about, I mean, it is about that, but it's about fellowshipping and bringing people together to, one, go into a better 2024. But just bring people together, celebrate different cultures, learn. And that's a big thing, is learning. And we definitely need more education as we move forward. Now, for you, I know being part of the first church, or being the first church here, and your community being involved, how awesome is it that you guys get to do this with this group at this time?
Well, I feel it's a privilege and an honor to be selected, and nobody but God could do this. And I'm excited that a younger generation gets to see the blending of culture, the blending of, as I say, old school and new school, and that it doesn't stop, as she said, it dies. And going forward, they can hopefully leave and connect their past, some things that grandparents shared with them, granddad, great-grandmother, things we did growing up. Now it's making sense. And part of the watch tonight is a reminder of the emancipation, the calling of the names. At the end of the service, we will remember those persons who passed, and we'll call their names. And I have this thing I call the council of the ancestors, the great cloud of witnesses, always around us, leading and guiding us. As we speak now, they're with us, and you never go into a room alone. We've been told that, and I believe that. So it's going to be a powerful worship experience. I'm excited to be, just was selected. I didn't go out and seek this. They called me and it dropped in my lap, so I'm just excited about it. So thank you, sir.
Let's put it in perspective. We talk about a watch night service. This is actually going down at noon.
At noon.
So we're going to get it in early, let everybody come in, celebrate, and then you guys can get to the house and relax for the rest of your day. Generally, how long do you think the whole program's going to run?
About 2 hours, from 12 noon to 2 p.m. It will not go over 2 p.m., so you can expect a great electrifying service.
And, of course, I always have to ask, because I am that dude, are we eating?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, we are eating.
Yes.
And that was the great part that we probably missed, is that we are going to prepare a few Gullah Geeche meals items for you, and there will be some souvenirs also. So it's a great time. You'll also be able to actually interact with some of the communities that are here. They will be there setting up so that you can see those communities. So we're looking forward to a good 2 hours plus, and we hope that everyone who wants to come, no matter what your religion or ethnicity is, that you come and you take a good look and see what it's all about.
I like it a lot. So it's going down December 31st, which is New Year's Eve, at noon at the historic Mount Zion AME Church. All of these lovely people will be there supporting and showing their love, and we're eating too. So thank you guys for hanging out with us. Is there a website people can go to kind of find out more information, even if it's not necessarily just this event, but even future things to consider?
Yeah, our website is GullaGeecheGlobal.com. And as Dr. Smalls explained, we are all over. So GullaGeecheGlobal.com is the website to go to.
Well, once again, thank you guys for
Thank you for
joining
having
us
us.
and totally enlightening me, because I am kind of a history buff, and those were some nuggets. I'm like, did not know that. Did not know that. All right, walking tour on deck. So you guys have a happy holiday, happy
Same to
new year. Make sure you guys stay plugged into our community, because Jacksonville is so immersive with so many different cultures, and we're all just trying to do it together. So you guys be good. We will be back with more River City Plus tomorrow, and also at 9:30 on Channel 4, River City Live.